here, Krishna only actually is visible to his devotees. So if we think of an example of in Mahabharata, actually, Krishna was invited to go back to Duryodhan. He went to Duryodhan, and then he was offered a prasad, but Krishna refused to have prasad there. Where did he go? He went to actually to Vidur. Yeah, he went to Vidur. So why did he go to Vidur? Because Vidur probably Duryodhan had so more offering because he was rich. Yeah, but Vidur was poor. Yeah, but still he went for that love of Vidur. Yeah, so there was some saying on in the Bible which I was listening. Don't give your pearl to swine. Yeah, don't give your pearl to swine. So that means that um, if you give your pearl to a swine, then it's no good. Yeah, but we need to keep Krishna in the center. Then we can keep this loving relationship. So again, what is our position? We are part of him, like fire and heat. So if there is there is a slok in 15th chapter which we haven't come across. Mama ivansho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. So we are like just part of him. We are part like um, the sparks are us, and the actual fire is Krishna. So mami vamsho jiva loke. So so if we again, if we connect to the original person, then we become happy. If we chant, then we have to keep God at the center of ourselves. So so just an example of Draupadi actually. Draupadi was so much in the middle of the assembly. She was so much um, helpless. She was so much helpless. She did try everything before, but at the end, when she said Govinda, yeah, then she got the help from Krishna. Yeah. So Krishna will reveal if we actually sincerely ask him that we need his help. Yeah. So so how can we see Krishna? How can we actually see Krishna? Which we have discussed before, but mainly through sadhu, shastra, and sangha. Sadhu is a guru, yeah. Shastra is what we are doing now, which is Bhagavad Gita, and a sangha is to keep the association of the devotees, so we can always talk about Krishna. Yeah, we can always talk about Krishna. So that is very much important. Um, So yeah, there are different type of people. So we have seen Krishna's activities. Actually, Krishna's activities have been quite a lot mentioned in the Shastra and Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10. Like he had 16,000 wives. He was lifting Govardhan. And things like that. Everything. So Krishna did actually perform, but a lot of conditioned souls are actually envious. They can't believe that Krishna is the supreme Lord. Yeah. So root of this is envious. So there is an example given that at the root of our consciousness there is enviousness. And Prabhupada was talking about two friends who met after many years. Um, and they were good old friends that were talking about the good old stories. And one asked Sachin about a person, and a person said, "Oh, this person you are talking about, he's now a high court judge." Now, this person became so envious. He says, "How can that person be a high court judge? He was with us in a school. He was just like us. Yeah, why he can become, high court judge?" So, and the person actually says, he says, um, he said to him, um, if he's a high court judge, fine. So what did he say to, I forgot the actually gist of the story. So he said to him, um, anyone who is dedicated, that was the gist of the story, anyone who is dedicated can become what they want to become. Yeah. So this was the gist of the stories. I haven't nailed down exactly what, the final thing was to do with that. Um, so for this, we've already seen, if we water the root of the tree, then the benefit will arise. Yeah, we've always said that. We have to go to the root of tree. So we are all trying to become devotees, pure devotees. And we don't want to surrender fully as we want to enjoy ourselves. So in one of the chapters, I think we have come across ye yatha mam prapadyante tam stadaiva bhajamyaham. So the amount you surrender, that is how Krishna will reciprocate to us. So he doesn't manifest himself to the non-devotees who are envious of him, as they are covered by Maya. So it is not the whole world we become Krishna consciousness. Not everyone will become Krishna consciousness. Because everyone, most of the people, or majority of the people in this world are covered by the Maya, because we always think about me, my, and mine. Yeah. So, we're talking about this verse now. We talked about the fools, and I think quite a lot of this relates to a number of verses which we have covered before. So if we go into 720, 720, is this 720? Bahunam Janmanam Ante. No, 719. Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gnanavan Mam Prapadyante Vasudevam Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudullabha. So that verse says, after many, many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is, such a great soul is very rare. Yeah. And even before, we saw that Manushyanam Sahasreshu. So if you remember that verse, Manushyanam Sahasreshu, Kaschid Yatati Siddhaye. Yeah. Yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam veti tatvataha. So out of many thousands amongst men, one may endeavor for perfection. And those who have achieved perfection hardly one knows me in truth. So how many people, hardly people know him in truth. But we have been given this Maha Mantra, and the easiest way to achieve that by Srila Prabhupada. Just chanting the names sincerely and endeavor to chant the names of glories of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, chant the mantra every day, do your rounds sincerely, and you can achieve the Lord. So, and other thing which has been mentioned in this verse, in this chapter, 7:13. So if you go to 7:13, it talks about those people who are actually covered by the Maya. So Tribir Guna Maya Bhaver Ebi Sarvam Idam Jagat Mohitam Nabijanati Mam Ebya Param Avyayam. Deluded by the three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. So it talks about the covering we are having. The majority of people are conditioned and are covered by the Maya. So going on the question about Mahamaya and the Yoga Maya. So Yoga Maya actually is is mainly to do with the liberated soul. So Yoga Maya actually is the energy of the Lord, and Mahamaya is actually for the conditioned soul. And actually, we are in Mahamaya. This is Mahamaya, the material world. The spiritual part, which is Yoga Maya, um, is actually is actually those people who are actually connected to Krishna. So if you think about uh, gopis and Yashoda Maya, they actually didn't recognize Krishna, but they were in the past times. They understood Krishna as their child, or the gopis as their lover. Yeah. So they found that that is the illusion which where you relish the pastimes with Krishna. Yeah. And that is like a more like a on a spiritual platform. Okay. So that is my answer to that. Yoga Maya. Mahamaya is the one which we are actually conditioned in. So I will just I've just covered my own things on here, but I will read what Prabhupada said on this 25th chapter. Yeah. So if it's okay, I'll read what Prabhupada has mentioned. Okay. So Prabhupada's mentioned on this chapter, Krishna is everywhere, but why can't you see him? Anta Bahar our system. Krishna is within and without. Anyone can see him, but he cannot be seen by the non-devotee. Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yoga Maya Samavrita. He is not exposed to everyone. He is simply exposed to the devotee. Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochena Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu. The non-devotees cannot see him. Naham Prakasha Sarvasya. Unless Krishna agrees to be seen, you cannot see him. You cannot force him to be seen by you. Swayam eva spurati ada. When he likes, he will be seen by you. You cannot say, now I'm qualified. Krishna must come and I'll see him. We are never qualified unless Krishna agrees to be seen. Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yoga Maya Samavrita. Everyone cannot see me. Yoga Maya Samavrita. I'm veiled by Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya will not allow you to see him unless you are a devotee. Krishna confirms this. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yas chasmi tatvataha. If you want to know Krishna, God, he is then seen you. He is then you must practice devotional life. Then he'll be seen. So you must practice devotional life according to Prabhupada. Yavan yas chasmi tatvataha. To know Krishna ordinarily, oh Krishna was born in India, in Mathura. He was son of such and such. He was very big man, is not tatvataha. Tatvataha means he is Satchidananda Vigrahar Anadir Andir Govinda Sarva Karanam. Sarva Karanam is the cause of all causes. He is the cause of all causes. Satchidananda Vigraha is knowledge, um, eternal knowledge and the truth. Yeah, Satchidananda Vigraha. To know Krishna, there are so many Vedic literatures. We have to know them through mercy of the spiritual master. So as I said, Guru, Shastra, and Sangha. Tad vignahanam su gurum eva abhigachyat. Everything is there. Just as Krishna is there in the Bhagavad Gita, but people do not understand him. Now we are presenting Krishna, and here and people are understanding and becoming devotees. So we have to go through the right channel and then we'll know Krishna. And as soon as you know Krishna as he is, your life is successful. That is the aim of Krishna conscious movement, simply to help people to know Krishna. So this was Prabhupada's lecture in 1976 in Mayapur. So that was a very brief lecture on this text. Um, but I can go through some the Gita wisdom, what we can learn from this Gita, um, from this chapter. So so I'll just read from the Gita wisdom actually, if it's okay. Have we got time? We have.
Yes, Prabhuji, we have.
Okay. So so respecting Krishna's right is the right way to reveal his revelation. So this is what it is. Ours is the age of rights. We recognize that every individual has certain inviolable rights. As our rights consciousness expands, it is befitting that we recognize Krishna's rights. His rights that has the most bearing on our relationship with him is his right to conceal or reveal himself according to his will. We often disrespect this right of Krishna when we have to make premature demands from him on the devotional path. Soon after we start studying his sacred scriptures, we demand prompt and clear understanding. Soon after we start chanting his holy names, we demand swift and steady taste. So we demand swift and steady taste. So while making these demands, we forget our own disqualification that the perceptions of our senses are finite, conceptions of our mind are fallible, conviction of our intelligence are fragile, commitments of our heart are fickle. So when we have all these disqualification, isn't our demand for insight and traced presumptuous? No wonder our presumptuousness makes Krishna exercise his right to conceal himself, as he indicates in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7:25. Meditating on our disqualification engenders humility. By acknowledging Krishna's right, we recognize his supremacy and his personalities. That is his self existence as a person with his individual preferences. In this world, we can come to a person only when we recognize their likes and dislikes. So we can only come to that person when we recognize his likes and dislikes and modify our behavior accordingly. The same principle applies when we approach Krishna. Of course, Krishna is much more than the ordinary person. He is extraordinarily, supremely merciful. That's why, despite all our disqualification, he has given us some understanding of his message and some taste in his remembrance. Meditating on his mercy engenders gratitude. When we approach Krishna with humility and gratitude, he exerts his rights to reveal himself and grants us both penetrating insight and captivating taste. So this is just a reflection on that 726, and also what we need to do from our side to be able to see Krishna clearly, which is, sometimes is very difficult because we are covered with Maya, which is, I can say also, I am covered with Maya at this time as well. I can't see Krishna clearly, but I'm trying to endeavor and I'm trying to chant, and I can see gradually, my bad habits which were there previously are disappearing, and hopefully in time to come, all my bad habits will disappear and I can see Krishna clearly. So that's all from me. I hope that makes a bit of sense, and I've tried to give you something from this text.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for reading the various commentaries and experts from other books as well and scriptures. So it is good that we are aware that Gita Wisdom exists and other platforms exist. Let's go back to Ravi Nathwani Prabhuji's question. Prabhuji, can you ask your question again about the Yog Maya? Hare Krishna, Ravi Nathwani Prabhuji. Ravi Prabhuji.
Is it there?
He's there, but
Hare Krishna, I'm here. Sorry,
yes,
I
yes.
lost it.
Hare Krishna, Ravi
Hare
Bhai.
Krishna, Avinash, thank you. Thank you for your discourse on on looking for Krishna, trying to find Krishna. Is it the invisible Krishna? Is he ever going to appear? So this Yog Maya stuff, I need to understand that. You said that you talked a little bit about it, and but I think there's Yog Maya and which other one? Anyway,
Mahamaya.
what?
Mahamaya.
Just two?
Yeah, those are the two.
Yeah. So you did explain earlier on, but if we have time, I'm a slow learner.
So basically, we are actually covered by the Mahamaya, yeah, which is we are in. This is Mahamaya, the Maya which is now here, Durga Maya, yeah. So the Yoga Maya actually is the one which is there where there is that um, let me reveal the text here. I was listening to the lecture yesterday on Yoga Maya. Is to do with liberated soul. Actually, Yoga Maya is to do with liberated soul. So is to actually, if I take an example, Yoga Maya was actually where gopis and Yashoda Maya and all actually who were with Krishna at that time, but they couldn't recognize Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, but they were involved with Krishna in his pastimes. Yeah. So although they didn't recognize Krishna at that time, they were still the liberated soul because they were together in the pastime of Krishna, but still they didn't recognize Krishna. So that is Yogamaya. I don't know whether I have put that clearly or not.
So if I can interrupt you,
Yeah.
you said something about Durga Maya. What is that?
We are actually this whole Maya, Mahamaya, is like
Mm.
we are calling it like a jail. Yeah.
Hmm.
And let me go into the more details here. Um, so your Durga is actually the Durga is actually demigod, for, and she is like the Mahamaya. Mahamaya is like a Durga Maya. Yeah. So that's what it is. So Mahamaya, the person in charge of Mahamaya is Durga Devi. Yeah. And then we are covered by that yoga, Mahamaya. I don't know whether I'm clear or not.
Not quite, but anyway, you just continue and let me mull over it.
So can I say something?
Please,
I'm
please.
looking out for this figure that was shown to us. If I can get it, then it will be a little easier. Sorry, I have found it. I just want to project it. Prabhuji, you have seen this Vishnu form who was lying in the ocean of Garbhodaya.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me share that again. I think Shamanand Prabhuji showed us this. Are you able to see this?
Yes, yes.
So this is Vishnu in the lying in the ocean, and from his nabhi comes Brahma, and he creates this whole universe, which has the Swarg, Jana, Tapa, Mahalokas, and also the Patal and the various others, and obviously the earth as well in between. Now, this whole thing is under the Nigrani or under the eyes. This is a prison, and this prison, the caretaker of this prison is over here, which is cut off in this figure, in this picture, is Durga Ma. So Durga Ma is the energy potency of the Supreme Personality of God's energy potency, and she is the caretaker of this. So that is the Durga energy that Avinash Prabhuji is talking of. However, the Yoga Maya that Prabhuji is describing, the Maya that was covering or Jiska Avaran was there on Jashoda Ma and all the gopis, was, if you remember in the Krishna book, when Krishna was born, there was an exchange of the babies, and the baby that went in Krishna's place and Krishna came to her place. So she is the Yogmaya. She laughs and tells Kansa that I'm Yogmaya, and you're the person who's going to kill you is still alive, and she disappears. So that is the Yogamaya. And she's also, Yogmaya is also considered to be Subhadra. So in our deities, where we see Balram, Subhadra, so Subhadra is that Yogamaya.
Okay. So just my daughter has come up with just some sentence, probably to make it easier. So she
Sure.
says, Yogamaya exists in the spiritual world only and allows devotees to forget Krishna and have a personal relationship with him, and forgets that he is God. So that relationship is without awe and reverence. So he enjoys his devotees in this way. Krishna is under Yogamaya when actually um, thinks he is Yashoda Maya's son and fears her. So Krishna was in Yogamaya when he was fearing Yashoda Maya. So that is Yogamaya. And the Mahamaya is which we are each under. So I was just reading here just a definition of Yogamaya. As far as I can understand, Yogamaya is an illusion used by divine to test or convey a message or as a diversion in tricky situations so that good can prevail. While Mahamaya, assuming it's the same as Maya, symbolizes the duality present in samsara, which traps us in this continuous cycle. So this is the definition of the two, Yogamaya and Mahamaya. I hope that is slightly more clearer, Prabhu.
Very much. Thank you for that. But something which Kritika showed us on that.
Yes, Prabhu. Ravi Prabhuji? Hare Krishna, Ravi Prabhuji, we can't hear you. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
So we should be perhaps asking Durga to release us, not necessarily go to Krishna. After all, he appointed her.
So she is the warden, okay? But you have direct contacts with the
Yeah.
president of the country. Why do you want to go to the warden? The warden can change because we can all become the warden with our good karmas. We can take that. It's a position. So the ministers can change. Okay, if you don't do any mistakes for so many millions of years in life, you can become Brahma. Or if you do so many austerities, you can become Durga. So why do you want to go to a person where it is changing when you can go to the source itself? Like what
Yeah,
we discussed
watering the
on
root.
Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
watering the root of the tree. When you can, if you can water the root of the tree, why water the leaves? Um, and that's what Mataji is trying to indicate. You can still go through the Durga Devi, but don't ask Durga Devi for material benefits. If you ask Durga Devi to say, please give me strength that I can worship Krishna, that is very good. So you worship Durga Devi to say, give me that strength that I can worship Krishna, regularly and so strongly that, or give me that strength that I can worship Krishna. So that is the good thing to do, right? Rather than going for the material sort of benefits.
But her role is to give material benefits also.
Yes, yes. That's what we've been studying in the last 3 or 4 verses, that demigod worship will give you what you ask for and what is in reach with them.
Right. But the route to Krishna is so long, you need some relief. So maybe you need to go to the demigod.
That's because you want probably a material gain. If you wanted something material, like if you wanted a son, then you would pray to so and so, and he will give you a son. If you wanted wealth, you would pray to so and so, and she will give you the wealth. If you so there in our Vedas, which I haven't read, but I've been told that there are ways of getting all the material desires. You do this yoga, this you'll get it. But we are, as devotees, Krishna conscious devotees, we are not after material gains. We can even ask Krishna for material gains, and he would like that we ask him than asking the neighbor. A father would like the son to ask him for things than knocking at the door of the neighbor.
Yeah, Prabhu, that is what comes in the stages of bhakti. So initially, people will go to the Lord for things, which is quite good. But eventually, we are practicing to become detached. We are practicing to become detached and become actually selfless. And when we become detached and selfless and we become pure, then Lord can accept us. It's like Radhanath Swami said, we are like a drop of ocean water, the rain water. So when the drop of rainwater falls from the sky to the land, it will merge with the mud. Yeah. So it will merge with the mud, and like we are merging with this Maya, we are merging with the mud. And as soon as the evaporation process takes place, the drop goes back again as a pure thing, and the rain falls again. So then some drops will remain because that is remaining in Maya. So this is what we want to become. We want to become pure, like that drop of water which fell from the ocean, yeah, and went back. So this is what we want to become. We want to become pure. And if we want to become pure, we should leave our selfish motives. aside, and we should try to become pure. I don't know whether that explains slightly better or not.
So the route to Krishna is also through Durga, and if we were to pray to her, or I'm assuming, uh, assist us to get closer to Krishna.
Yeah, you can do that. That is quite a valid point.
Well, how does that work?
It does work. It does work because you are not being selfish. You are trying to be selfless. That is being selfless. It's like me going to Prabhupada and say, "Me, please, get me closer to Krishna," and then Prabhupada will show me the way, and that's how Durga Devi will show you the way.
Because Shiva, Durga, Brahma are pure devotees. That's why we look up to them. Therefore, we respect them and to ask them that let us be devotees like them, because they are really beloved of Lord.
So how come ISKCON does not have their deity at the altar? Durga is never there, Shiva is never there, and yet these are people who can take us to Krishna.
The reason we don't have that is Prabhupada has made it so simple to us that actually you have to water the root of the tree. Yeah, he has made it so simple. And we know Krishna is cause of all causes. Sarva karanam. Yeah. And because he's cause of all causes, why do we have to bother going to the branches or the leaves? Yeah. Why do we not approach Krishna directly? So, for instance, if I have to say, I live in London, if I have to go to Leicester, I will take M1. Yeah. So, if I took the different roads going via Nottingham or Luton, it will take me a long time to get there. So what Prabhupada teachings are is like if you can take an elevator, as I said the example before, if you can take the elevator, why do you have to go through the stairs when it will take you long time to get there when the elevator is there?
Okay, yes, thank you.
Prabhuji, if you are
Thank-
not satisfied with our answers, because we are also aspiring devotees, we can ask the same question again so that even our understanding improves. So when Shyamanand Prabhuji or Rukma Prabhuji
Sure.
on Friday, let's ask Rukma Prabhuji. But to the best of our knowledge, this is the explanation.
No, uh, it helps. It really helps to have answers to the same question from different people.
Yeah, thank you, Ravi Prabhu. It's nice to ask
Okay.
question, and it's good to share these ideas. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It clarifies. Yeah.
It clarifies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
clarifies, and we
Thank you.
understand it. We are doing manana right now by getting answers of this question, and that is really recommended in our scripture reading. Okay, we have surpassed our time. Is there any other questions or comments or contributions?
Hare Krishna Mataji, there is one question on the chat.
Oh,
Is there one question on the chat?
sorry.
Yeah,
Bhishma proclaimed Krishna to be supreme God. On the battlefield, why Bhishma has opposite side of Godhead? Okay, so to answer to your question, actually, if you see the history of Mahabharata, what it is, Bhishma actually promised that he will protect the kingdom. Okay, so he promised that. That's the first point. The second point is that he also was being fed by the Kauravas, yeah, Duryodhana's party. So that's second reason. So two reasons are the more genuine reasons why he did that. But at the same time, he knew that Krishna is the supreme. Yeah. And at the end of his life, he calls Krishna. Yeah. And he actually prays to Krishna. So the whole episode is in Srimad Bhagavatam. How Bhishma prays to Krishna and he pays obeisance. He actually mentions that he is actually the supreme personality of Godhead. Yeah. So those were the two reasons he actually promised. So he doesn't break his promise. First of all, that he will protect the kingdom and he will be on the side of whoever is the ruler of the kingdom. So he didn't break his promise. And secondly, he was obliged because he was fed by the Kauravas. So those are the two reasons.
There is Bhishma's Stuti, which is supposed to be very beautiful.
Beautiful, yeah.
That he sang on the Kurukshetra when he was on the bows. I mean, on the arrows. Arjuna's arrow Shaya.
Yeah, that one I
We
said.
should ask somebody.
Still, Prabhuji is not clear. You see, I agree. He very well knows Krishna is the God. That still is with them. Is it because of Maya or he with knowing he did?
I don't think so. He knew Krishna was Lord. He wasn't in Maya. He knew Krishna was Lord. But he was fulfilling his duty. So if you see Krishna says, you do your duty. Yeah. So even in Bhagavad Gita, he says, you do your duty and I will give you the benefits. Yeah. So he was actually doing his duty.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you. It's clear.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I had one question. I don't know whether people have the time. Please leave if to your own convenience. So, what is the difference between envy and jealous?
It's the same.
Okay.
Envious and jealous is the same thing.
Okay. I feel, yes.
So
And
that
Sham Vallabha is going to give you the answer as well.
so I think the difference between envious and jealousy is in jealousy we may be jealous of a person who may be better at, say for example, be better at a service than us, and therefore we think why am I not like this? Why can I not be as good as that person? Whereas envious, but you don't do anything. It's just in your mind, right? Whereas someone who is envious will try and spoil the other person's. Will try and bring the other person down as well. Not only will they think that, but they will act in a way that a malicious way, in a way that it will try and harm the other person. Whereas the one person who is jealous is just thinking that. But envy is actually putting into action. Right?
Okay, so that's what the difference is. It's the same thing, but the difference is that one takes action and one doesn't take, it keeps in his mind. Yeah.
So, Prabhuji, we must have been so fallen that we were envious of Krishna. We knew his position. We were with him. We were given everything. We had an association with him. Whatever we were in our relationship with Krishna, he must have definitely fulfilled it because he's Krishna. But in spite of all that, we were envious. So I understand what Shyama Vallabh Gopi Devi Dasi is saying, because I know the degree there is jealousy and the higher degree is envy. So I'm just surprised that we can be envious of Krishna. We must be so.
Yeah, we must have been when we were in a spiritual world. We must have been to say, why are you enjoying yourself? We should be enjoying ourselves as well. So Krishna says, you want to enjoy yourself? Go. This is what you go to this. Yeah. And we have been to this, and now we are so much attached to this thing that we don't want to go back to our original position. Yeah. And actually, the original position is to go beyond, like Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. Go beyond that. So we want to get away from this disease, and that's what we should be aiming to.
Prabhuji, it was not just jealousy that we had, that, oh, why is everybody feeding Krishna and not me? So that would be jealousy. But here I did something more than that to come here. I must have been envious that, oh, why is everybody feeding Krishna? And then I went and spoiled something.
It's possible. That's all.
That is the meaning of envy. That is the meaning of envy. So
Yeah, taking into action. So unless taking into action is must be protesting rather than anything. Why are you enjoying yourself? And we should be enjoying ourselves as well. So it's protesting against that.
yeah.
So
Anyway, I was just reasoning and thinking. So
yeah,
sorry, I've gone ahead of time.
yeah.
Okay. So let's unmute. Are there any more questions? I think on the chat, Prabhuji had also written, Godhead said, I'm unborn and infallible. Yes.
Oh yeah. So if you go in that one, if Arjun, I should have mentioned that in seven. Yeah, so not seven. In 10, 10, 12, 13. There is a slok. Arjun Vacha Param Brahma Param Dhamma Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Rashaya Sarve Devarshir Naradas Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. So that says, Arjun said, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages, such as Narada, Asita, Devalo, and Vyasa, confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me. So this is like a pure devotee who is actually recognizing Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Arjun, being a pure devotee of Lord, he recognized that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in this slok 12, 13. Chapter 10, slok 12 to 13. So I should have reference to this text. I did put it on my notes, but I didn't go to it. But that's what as an example of a devotee recognizing the Lord as the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. This was a very enlightening class, and we like it because we are so informal and we can ask any questions. I'm sure the others agree with that as well. Okay, so let's unmute and chant the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai,
Shri Avinash Prabhuji ki Jai.
Jai.
All Vaishnava ki
Panchakalpa
jai.
Panchakalpada
Yasya
Yascha
Kripa
kripa
Sindhu
sindhubhye vacha
Patitanam Pavanibhyo
yo
Vaishnavibhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo Namah.
Namo.
Hare Krishna. I'm ending the session.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.